All right, peace. Sorry about that. So this is the official recap of yesterday, part two, stuff that I left out. So that's what's making me do this. And also the hood scientist, aka Aboriginal Power, he played the video of me annihilating Jabari Osaze, right? So I went up in there and showed up for the Aboriginal community, indigenous native community, and our culture and nationality, the Moorish people. I went up there and represented, said everything correctly, and Jabari Osaze was just in denial. Everybody's saying it. And what bothers me the most is all of the information I put out, people still had a problem with it or the lack of support. I definitely have a problem with lack of support. Aboriginal Power came through, but he called me a liar. So I want to go over what he says that I'm lying about so we can all get this straight. So I'm going to play some of his audio from the video that he recapped. And I just want to get this straight. I'm not a liar. I don't put out information unless it's confirmed, right? I had no reason to go up there lying and playing, but maybe he just misspoke. But he still called me a liar. So I definitely tagged Aboriginal Power's name. And I re-tagged Jabari Osaze's name. I'm not picking on you. I'm not bullying you. Let's get the record straight, Jabari Osaze. You lied several times. You lied a couple of times. You didn't just lie once, and you overtalked me. You didn't allow me to land my plane. You're a bully. You're biased. You cannot have an open panel for people to talk and represent and cut them off when you feel like they're a threat. Because if I was stupid, if I was illiterate, if I wasn't making any sense, Jabari Osaze would not have cut me off in the manner he did. He would have let me hang myself. He would have been like, oh, this dude is dumb. Let him keep talking. Let him keep talking. But no, he cut me off because I was making sense. So like I said, I want to go over a couple of them points. But before I do that, let's play the Aboriginal. Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. I see what it is now. I definitely see what was stopping me from going live. I definitely want to play some of the Aboriginal Power footage because he might take it down. Aboriginal Power is good for taking stuff down that can be useful, especially when it got something to do with me. And I don't blame him because majority of his audience hates me. They don't like me, and I don't like them. So he has a good reason to take this stuff down because these people will beat him up. They will beat him up and unsubscribe for having dealing with PNF. And I also want to address or talk to this one. He did some lame shit too. When Abo Power was playing my part, that's right, whoever this is, Aliyah, that old cat is an agent, or he just think he know everything. That's exactly what I said. You can't know everything. You can't just be the only one with shine, and that's very feminine of Jabari Osaze. I'm not calling him gay and all of those names, but it's a feminine trait of him wanting to be, you know, right about everything and get the last word. That is typical of what women do. I didn't appreciate Osaze. I didn't appreciate that. But A1 really disappointed me. I can really tell that he is either jealous or he wants to debate PNF about this Moorish smoke. If A1 want Moorish smoke, more smoke, we can do that. I don't support Tariq Bey, and I'm going to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about with brother A1. I'll talk to this one. AP was playing my audio, was playing me going in on Jabari. Do you know A1 popped up out of nowhere like a superhero for Taj Tariq Bey and interrupted the whole build? The brother is playing me up there representing, and A1 couldn't stand it. That's correct. He couldn't stomach it. It was like he was about to throw up listening to me speak. And he cut the whole build off to whereas I couldn't finish up and the people get the whole glimpse of what I did to Jabari. So I want to play this. Let's see if I can get it. Let's skim through it and get this for the record. Cause A1, we had some good times together, brother, but you're sus. You're hella sus. And I'm going to explain totally why I don't support, what is his name? Taj Tariq Bey. A lot of people don't like me for this, and I don't like you. You don't like me, I don't like you. I don't support Taj Tariq Bey. for various reasons. People go to jail because of him. He's a separatist. And according to our Moorish American Constitution, we are not to overthrow the government. We are not to overthrow the government. We are not to cause confusion and put each other in harm's way. That is correct. That's why I don't support Taj Tariq Bey. Let's go and find this where he started letting me cook. Let's go and find that.
Civilization I put in Africa. Absolutely not. I can start with the mobile bone, the Ishango bone. Those are really old artifacts that show the Saturday morning after having a really fun Friday night.
Trying to skip it up to the part.
Talking about, yeah, it's already in the car, so you hear me? Yeah, we hear you. So I come on the live and I'm listening to what he's saying. So let me address the last thing. Can y'all hear me? Yes, we hear you.
Hey y'all, this is where the part where Ali Muhammad come on. I think this gonna be an interesting comment.
I don't know why I didn't have that.
I'm gonna just call you Captain Obvious is what I'm gonna call you.
I don't know. I should have had the exact part where he played me. Let me see. I'm gonna find it.
You see how they got it? Look at y'all was making fun of A1 when his inner.
It's gonna take me a while because I don't know exactly where, but I know I'm in here somewhere.
Yeah. We have to wait for my PowerPoint to come back up.
Oh, Jabari.
All the money he's making off his lecture here, but listen.
It's more slow too.
The name of the people is she. They had the same name as the owner. Jabari, all you gotta do is sit there and let him talk himself and have been devastated and there's a distinction between our American people population. I call them Negroes just because that's what we use.
Yeah, I go.
Authors, Rebecca.
PNF said he want to challenge Jabari.
That's right.
Shout out to PNF, man.
Hey, come on now. Hey, I want.
No, she asked you how.
Let's get this straight. I'm not a rinky dink. I got college credentials. That's correct. Not just MSTMA. Been to a vocational school in Chicago. I'm a learned man, traveling man, and I know about Kemet as well. I study Egyptology, Arabology, chematology, more science. I've been studying for years. And that's what led me to the Welsh hieroglyphics in the language of Nigamoru. That's what it's pronounced in Welsh. And I can easily prove Jabari Osaze is not a Kemet priest. I can do that, and I believe they're really afraid that I can do that. That's why because if people don't know me, why are they so afraid of me? You got to ask yourself that. It's like they're running around scared instead of letting me talk because they've been studying. They know who I am. Let's go in.
How did they get there? We didn't ask you how they evolved. How did they get there? You see how you just moved the whole goalpost?
Big power, white power. Right. And so you Stokely Carmichael with a few young teenagers. You know, everybody loving it. Everybody is like, the white man ain't gonna give you what the suntans.
No, she asked you how did they get there. We didn't ask you how they. PNF said he want to challenge him.
The suntans.
No, she asked you how did they get there. We didn't ask you how they evolved. How did they get there? You see how you just moved the whole goalpost?
Said, well, ask yourself, how did the Mayans get there? So she says, well, ask yourself how the Africans got there. Modern humans evolved on the continent of Africa. So it is the homeland to everyone on the planet. That's what happened. Okay. All right, so great. Class Eli, what's up? Class. All right, can you hear me? Now clear, we hear you, brother. All right, it's actually Olas, not class. And I'm a Moorish American. My name is Elijah.
All right, let's set the record straight. It's not class. Olas mean our Lord and Savior of my channel only. Just my channel. I'm the Savior there. So let's get that out the way. Supreme Leader Eli.
Yeah, it was a C. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's an O. Sorry, but my contention is with out of Africa and DNA, obviously. So I'm definitely here to challenge Jabari Osaze. I've been watching you guys for years. I appreciate you letting me up. And first, before I go in,
PNF said he want to challenge Jabari. Shout out to PNF, man. Shout out to PNF, man. Go and get this guy at work, man.
African. I just don't accept African American or Blackest nationalities. I believe that we have a long-lasting relationship with Africa. Like the one brother was talking about the Amazon. If anybody don't know, the Sahara actually feeds the Amazon. They have a direct connection. You can go and Google that. So we have a land connection to Africa as well as the people, the Fulani, I believe. Now, my people are Utah Aboriginals from Utah, Alabama, Clarksdale, Mississippi. I'm a native from Chicago. And like I said, I am a Moorish American, and I teach this, and I know this. So before I let you go next, let me just make my point. I want to make the point of out of Africa already being debunked and recanted by its authors, Rebecca L. Cann and Alan C. Wilson. They are the authors of it in the 1980s, and they abruptly recanted it. So that's already debunked. And evident DNA-wise.
Shout out to PNF. He's cooking. PNF is cooking. Drop a fire emoji. Man, we don't hate on nobody, man. We just want everybody dropping this truth because America is being denied and ignored and ridiculed about its greatness. My peoples are the great peoples here of this land, man.
Authors Rebecca L. Cann and Alan C. Wilson. They are the authors of it in the 1980s, and they abruptly recanted it. So that's already debunked. And evident DNA-wise, there's a distinction between our American Negro population. I call them Negroes just because that's what we're used to saying. But our indigenous American Negro population, there is a distinction with the third allele. And also, I'm an author of the first book of Moors and the discoverer of a granite pyramid in Madison, Wisconsin. That's correct. I found an ancient pyramid in Madison, Wisconsin. I would be glad to show y'all that. Y'all will love it. And as for the architecture, one of the brothers was talking about the proof and the resources. If you look at the world fairs, the expositions of the world fairs, you will see our architecture. And it is worded correctly as one of the owners and builders of this architecture. Just Google World Fairs and the expos, and you will see our Moorish building all throughout America being hidden and discovered by Lewis and Clark. So one more thing. As for the slaves, the white slaves, the Caucasian slaves, there's a place called Maritas Mills, Georgia. You can go and look this up right now, and we will see white people enslaved in 1905. They did not get.
Shout out to PNF. He dropping everything that we came on and dropped already, and he giving it to them in a condensed form, laying it out. They're not going to challenge and debate you. But you lied about that Amazon shit. The Amazon is not getting fed by the Sahara, and I'll get into that on another note. But you cooking though.
All right, let's stop right there. We got several commenters saying I lied. These are rinky-dink researchers. Now, Aboriginal Power is good for his community, but he's not great for us. You understand? Advanced researchers. You're good for your people, but you don't speak for us. Now, let's go right into NASA satellite imagery to show the Amazon being fed by the Sahara. I've done videos on this already. So Jabari, now the Aboriginals, they can say, oh, I don't believe nothing. I don't believe nothing that the white man put out. They can say that, but Jabari can't because he is using academia. He is using mainstream scholarship. So he can't deny NASA because they were all connected. Amazon is fed by Sahara. Now, there's other satellite imagery. There's other satellite imagery of the desert of the Black Mesa Verde. It's called the Black Mesa near Arizona and Nevada, also feeding the Amazon. So Africa right here is feeding the Amazon, and right up here, this desert is feeding the Amazon with different phosphorus dust. So I'm going to read from right here. This is 2015 NASA satellite. So you're going to have to take this L, Aboriginal Power. You're not going to go over this because you don't research like me. You would notice if you was really the hood scientist, Aboriginal Power. Do you understand me? So they're tracking the dust and sandstorms that tracks over the Atlantic Ocean and feeds the dense jungle of America. And I assert this is the real Garden of Eden, the real Maghreb, the real Arabia right here. This is Arabia. This is the far west because it don't get no farther west than this right here. This is the west. This is the east. This is the Sahara. Now, NASA satellite tracks Saharan dust to the Amazon, and we're gonna read what they say. The Sahara Desert. Let's get a zoom in on these words. The Sahara Desert, and I'm gonna end the video ASAP because I tagged Aboriginal Powers' name to make him have to answer to this. You can't call me a liar. And whoever that dude was in your chat comment, dude, look, for real, I deserve more respect than this. And a lot of people don't respect me. They play games as if I'm a kid. I do this. I'm a real scientist, a Moorish scientist. The Sahara Desert, what connects Earth's largest, hottest desert to its largest tropical rainforest in the world? The largest desert and the largest rainforest is located. That's correct, people. The Sahara Desert is a near uninterrupted brown sand of sand and scrubs across the northern third of Africa. The Amazon rainforest is a dense green mass of humid jungle that covers North, East, South America. But after strong winds sweep across the Sahara, a tan cloud rises in the air, stretches between the continents, and ties together the desert and the jungle. It's just dust, lots of it, and lots of it. For the first time, a NASA satellite has quantified in 3 dimensions how much dust makes this transatlantic journey. Scientists have not only measured the volume of the dust, they have also calculated how much phosphorus. Now remember, Morocco is rich in phosphorus. It is estimated that Morocco has billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of phosphorus. Now, remnant and Sahara sands from part of the desert pass as a lake bed gets carried across the ocean from one of the planet's most desolate places. Aboriginal Power has to answer to this. I am not a liar. He said I'm a liar. So that means he is a liar and his chat is liars. That's why I did this video, and I'm going to end that at that. Let's go straight to the medieval Wales. Let's go into medieval Wales. Now, I'm going to go over this a little bit for Brother Jabbar. Mr. Jabbar, with a Moorish name, not an African name. Wondering why he picked that name. I guess to mock us. Why would you choose a Moorish name if you are just an African, an everyday African? I don't understand. You're an Egyptian chematologist. Why not just be a Hotep name? So medieval Wales rose out of confusion caused by withdrawal of occupying Roman legions from the British Isles in the early 5th century, and resulted raids and settlements of the invading Germanic tribes from the continent. The original Celtic inhabitants of Britain were now scattered to the more remote areas, where they retained much of their ancient culture, regarded as foreigners by the Anglo settlers. One such isolated group of Celts became the Welsh. So the Anglo-Saxons considered our Welsh settlers as foreigners, and they're running up on these people. Now, it has been suggested that Sewell name might be derived from Anglo-Saxon, Sewell, which means foreigner, not of Saxon origin, but Celtic or Roman Britain. However, it is more likely that the name originates with Sewall or Sitwalla, an appellation in Saxon times. Throughout much of Middle Ages, the internal borders of multitude of petty Welsh kingdoms were in constant state of flux. But by the 8th century, the overall land area of Wales had acquired an approximate eastern border, and the adjacent Anglo-Saxon kingdoms suffered from Welsh raids. So we've been going back and forth with these albino people called Anglo-Saxons for decades and even centuries. This is the early Welsh kingdoms map. Could we get a zone that says L5L, like you follow? And I wanted to just point this out to Jabari. We have been clashing with these people And that's why we have similar names. This is why we have similar names to the English, because we have direct connection with them. And after, look at Roderick de Moore the Great, Mervyn, Prince of Wales. This is why we share names with so-called white Slavic people. And I don't want to just leave it there. I want to go in here to Maritas Mill to prove to him that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and also reiterate with uh, the Reconstruction era. So I just wanted to point this out to you, Jabari Osaze. Welsh are their own people, and they were amalgamated by conquering British, by the conquering British. All right, let's get that straight. I don't have the actual book. I'm gonna have to go to an old video, but it breaks down how African Americans have Welsh names. So let me go and get some of these Welsh names. Okay, I think I erased that. I think I did that. Yes, I did. I can just do a quick Google though. I can do that. Everything is moving slow. Is it? Yes. Let's say African Americans have Welsh surnames. Okay, let's go to images. Anything Welsh surnames. This is definitely not the page I'm looking for. John, no. Jones, names, meaning. Jones, Welsh. Okay, so here it is, the coat of arms, Jones. Remember I mentioned Jones to Jabari. History, family crest, coat of arms. While the ancestors of bearers of Jones came from ancient Welsh Celtic origin, that is a death blow to you, Jabari. You cut me up and you said I lied. I lied. Now, early origins of the Jones family. The surname Jones was found in Dingbishire, Welsh Sir Dingbich, a historic county in northeast Wales created by the laws of Wales Act. Jones, I'm glad that I chose Jones. It just came to the top of my dome. And he tried to give it to the British, who are Slavic people, who are a mixed people who were bred to be pale with blue eyes for the purpose of slavery. I can go and show you into a book of the Saracens and the spread of the West of the Saracens. I can show you how the British people were preferred because of their blue eyes on the slave block. That's correct. I can show you that. So it's Welsh, and he was wrong, and that's all I wanted to prove in a quick video. And I'm going to show him an image of Maritas Mill, and we're out. He's saying that these are indigent servants. I disagree, because if we tell him, if I tell Jabari Osaze that our people were not slaves, they were indentured, they were sharecroppers, he'd just brush it off and say, no, brother, you're lying. Our people were slaves. Okay, well, you're lying. These are slaves. These people are slaves. Look at their bare feet. Group of workers in Maritas Mill, Columbus, Georgia, cannot get the youngest. So they're putting these young people to work down here. And what do you know? It was dark-skinned people who was employing them, and they ran them off. And this is what Jim Crow did to everybody. Look at the Moorish arcs, the triptych Moorish arcs. And this is what happened to the dark-skinned people down here who was hiring these runaways, these Slavic people living down here during the Jim Crow era and Civil War. A lot of cities didn't get conquered. Not everything. They lied to you. They just rewrote history and it don't add up. But this is evidence right here. These people are Slavs. Now, I'm going to end it with this right here. Let's just say Slavic people. This is why I say slaves. Slavic people. All you gotta do is type Slavic people, and we see nothing but Caucasian people, right? And I'm gonna go back to the Welsh names. I'm gonna get as many as I can. This is what a Slavic person looks like. This is the characteristics of a Slav person. So the people we call white people today, they are the real slaves. Eastern and Western slaves. We are not them. That is identity theft. They are switching identities with us via the Welsh. They're taking our Welsh or L's identity. They can't take the Bays because they couldn't conquer the Turks. They were able to conquer the Moors, though, or AKA Israelites, right? But these are Slavs. We cannot have their culture and their likeness. They are the Slavic people. And Jabari Osaze, for some reason, he's working for them to help them steal our identity because they don't want to be Slavs. They don't want to be Slavs. They want to be American. And the only way they can do that is by stealing our names. Let's see if we can get that. I must have erased it. I had to. Yeah, I did. I can go to the other one. There's a connection with America and Wales. Let me see. Let me see right here. Where is it at? Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, definitely no. Hopefully this is the one right here. And I doubt it. I can go back into the history. That's okay. African American. Moakia, this might be it. Black history. African American, nope. Let me see. PNF. The link, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Bam. The crossing the Atlantic, the link between America and Wales. Wow, this was not here earlier. This was not before you start. Okay, animations. The link between America and Wales, the Welsh among the first to settle in the U.S. and Canada in the late 17th century. That is the hijacked Wales. Well, let's go to this story right here, where it mentions Mad Dog. If you believe the earliest history books about Wales, Lewis Chronicle Walea, and clergyman David Powell's History of Cambria, a Welsh prince, Madoc, landed in America around 1170, 320 years before Christopher Columbus. Wow. That's information that has been documented. Another strand to the legend suggests his settlers eventually ran into the Mandan, a Native Americans, and we know African also have a Mandan people. A Mandan people. Okay, breaker boys in Pennsylvania and many Welsh boys in the U.S. began work in this way at an early age. So here's more proof of the Welsh slaves. This is the Welsh slaves right here. So after the Civil War, they are no longer known as slaves. They're just equal. All men are created equal, but they are the original slaves. Okay, and Jabari Osaze does not want to accept that. This is the real Welsh slaves. They got citizenship as USA citizens later, but they are just Slavs. They're going to usurp our identities, all our identities, and take our names and likeness later. But they are the slaves that's going to take over and cause riots in all our towns and rewrite history via the Reconstruction Act. You see how easily I was able to prove that with a quick search? And Jabari Osaze don't want you searching on Google. He don't want you doing no quick search. He wants you to go and get expensive books like Dan Calloway, wasting your time, where you can go on a quick site that will give you a quick explanation on things pertaining to our argument. Right? Now let's go here. So I showed you Marita's meal slaves, Slavs, because white people are Slavs. They are the Slavs, not you. You may be the indentured servant. You may be the sharecropper, but you are not a slave. These are the slaves right here. That's correct. So let's go into the reason for the Reconstruction. Jabari Osaze is not right about everything. The way he threw a little hissy fit and he got all mad because I came up there with that information, go to show you he's a control freak. He's a control dominant man, probably is controlling his woman. And he doesn't know everything. You cannot want to be the only person in the room who know everything. You're gonna do nothing but keep slow people in your circle. The Reconstruction implemented by Congress, which lasted from 1866 to 1877, already debunks Jabari talking about a Bacon rebellion and a civil war. I mean, in a revolutionary war when it started. No, he lied. Was aimed at reorganizing the southern states after the Civil War, providing the means for readmitting them to the Union. So the Reconstruction was about readmitting states back into the Union. It has nothing to do with Jabari Osaze was talking about. So easily and abruptly, I proved my point, and I showed you white Slavic people. Oh, before I get out of here, let's say the 1911 White Slave Act. White Slave Act. Something these people is going to constantly gloss over. The White Slave Traffic Act, also called the Mann Act, is a federal law passed in 1910, where you can now have white slaves in America no more. They banned it, and the black people, like Jabari Osaze, they don't want to talk about this. They don't want to go into this. The Mann Act, unforgivable blackness. The Mann Act was born during the white slavery hysteria. And we would need real researchers to go in here and get articles and conversations about this where we won't be biased as to only showing a little bit of what's going on. Let's talk about the American girls into prostitution or white slavery. And let's talk about the little boys that had to work hard over here. They were working them to death over here back in them days. And it led to, actually, after that, it led to prohibition. It led to the federal government cleaning up a lot of things. And as you can see, it was horrific for the little girls in America when they first got here. The construction of white slavery is a social problem in progressive Chicago. So those Chicago gangsters, they was out there pimping those little girls, and that's why they kind of hate the black people right now today. They kind of don't like black people because they were the ones buying these white people. They were buying them, putting them to work, treating them really harsh, like they treat them really harsh right now today. And like I said, I will come through. And here's another one right here that you can go and look at: white slavery and the whorehouse riots, venereal diseases. This goes over the origin of HIV. This right here talks about the progressive era in New York and the origin of HIV/AIDS. The pandemic has been with us over 130 years. Is nothing new. HIV comes from the sex workers. That's correct. And I'm up out of here. I did that. I don't want to make it long. Jabari Osaze, you make sure you answer to this. If not, we'll hold it against you. We will definitely hold this against you because you can't talk over people, Jabari Osaze. That's very disrespectful. You bullied me. It was my time to shine, and you made me answer questions before I could even finish. You have to answer these questions that I presented. It's a two-way street. You're nobody's master. You're not my master teacher, So I want to question you about Kemet as well. I don't think you're a Kemet priest. I think you're covering up vital information of the motherhood and the mummies of the moms who are the mothers of Kemet. You're not teaching that. We have information on the Moors, the true Moors. So I show all this information. I'm up out of here. Shout out to Bias Boxing Elite Only. I'm up out of here. Peace out. Catch y'all later.